Well, now let's join our hockey correspondent. Sam Spooner is in the studio. Let's start with the PwC Women's Premier League because there is a crucial match at the bottom tomorrow. Castletown A have the edge against Harlequins A. And it's been a tale of woe, really, for both sides this season. Castletown's only triumph coming on the opening day of the season when they won 5-2 against Harlequins. Is it going to go the same way again tomorrow, or do you think Harlequins can claw their way back in to the fight for safety?
I think Caston A have shown some flashes of some real brilliance this year, and they've got the experienced players in their squad, the likes of Nicky Kane, and Danny Kelly's been playing in that side as well a little bit this season, and you've got, I think there's 3 former Ireland players or 3 current Ireland players in that squad as well, and I think they've probably got the experience to win this game. But Harlequins I've always been impressed by Harlequins by the way they apply themselves on the pitch, in every squad that they have, and it's just this utter determination never to give up, never to stop, just to carry on right to the final whistle. And that's where they get their goals from. Harlequins did really well against Valkais A. They went 2-0 up before Valkais A finally rallied and won the game. So, like I said, both teams have shown some flashes of brilliance. Castan, I think, lost 1-0 to Valkais A, which is a great result, really, for Castan A. But I think on the measure of goals conceded and the form book so far this season, I think Castan A should win this one. But that being said, the Harlequins aren't going to go down without a fight. The first game, 5-2, opening day of the season, the Castan ladies, a lot of those players have been playing together for the past sort of 5 to 10 years, so they know what each other's about. Harlequins are still trying to discover themselves a little. I think it's going to be a very close game, but I think possibly, and unfortunately, it's probably going to be Harlequins relegation day tomorrow.
And Anna Hall scored on the opening day of the season for Harlequins. She's back at university. She won't be playing. I've heard murmurings Chloe Quilliam, who's another big player for Harlequins A, she might not be playing tomorrow. So it does look like a backs against the wall job. And Danny Kelly and Hannah Lees, I take it they're the key players for you for Castletown. They both scored 2 in that 5-2 victory.
Yeah, I think Danny Kelly, Hannah Lees, Nicky Kane, you could pick 4, maybe 5 players from their Castletown team. They've got a really strong core, and they've got some very good young players coming through as well to complement their experienced core. So I think there's some very dangerous players from Caston A, but Harlequins, they always set themselves up to give everything, and I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Caston A. In fact, it's going to be far from it. Harlequins are physical, despite their size and their experience. They will get into Caston and they will score goals. So I think there'll be goals for both sides, but it'll be a narrow victory for Caston A.
What does this do for Harlequins A as a team? They've got some young players. We've talked about how much potential they've got. If they do get relegated, which is looking likely, and you think that Castletown are the favourites tomorrow, then where do they go from there? Are they going to lose those players? Or do you think they can stick together and rally again and hopefully come up with some positive performances and perhaps an immediate return to the top flight next season?
If they stick together, they'll return straight away. That's one thing that they need to. If they want to return straight away, they need to stick together. They're trying to play hockey in the right way, but with the increase of all these young players coming through at the same time, and I've said it in the previous weeks, it's unprecedented the amount of youngsters, Vikings, Saracens, Harlequins, that have all come through at the same time, and it's a squad's worth of players. And they're still developing, they're still learning. There's no need for them to rush off anywhere. They will be the best of the best for their respective clubs that they're at now. And there's no doubt in my mind that Harlequins will be fighting for those top 3 positions in the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Well, that one is tomorrow. Castletown A against Harlequins A, a big match in the bottom of the PwC Women's Premier League. In the Men's Premier League, a game between Valkais A and Ramsey A is the focus of our attentions this evening. 2 sides who are next to each other in the table. Is this a case of if they get a positive result here, they're fine? If they lose it, perhaps they're looking nervously over their shoulder for the rest of the season?
I think Valkais A are going to be out for payback. They were very, very disappointed with that opening day result against Ramsey A. Don't get me wrong, it was a fantastic result for Ramsey A and widely deserved as well. They've broken that sort of glass ceiling that they've been trying to break for many seasons. But then Valkais came back and have had a brilliant season since. They've played some exceptional hockey. They've got a point out of the league leaders, which nobody expected to happen in a million years. And they've played some great hockey. And if they win tomorrow, they climb above Ramsey. And then they've got the game in hand against Harlequins B and could put themselves right back in the title fight with a win over Harlequins B as well. So I expect them to come out fighting tomorrow. And I think Ramsey A, although they started the season really strongly and played some great hockey against Valkais A, they were a little bit disappointing in that final 15-20 minutes when Valkais A were able to sort of re-establish themselves, go back and score another couple of goals and put Ramsey on the back foot again. And I think they struggle in those situations when they're behind. They don't seem to be able to push on and have that fight to get something out of the game.
Is the start crucial then? If Ramsey A go ahead, they could possibly run away with it. But if Valkais take the lead, then it could be quite an interesting encounter.
Yeah, Valkais have clearly got the experience over Ramsey. They've got the older players, Greg Miller, Ollie Webster. They won't like me for saying the older players, but they are the older, more experienced players. They've been around for a very long time in that squad, and Manx hockey in general. Ramsey have got a lot of the younger players, Nat Smith, Thomas Titsos, those sorts of players, and Connor Parfit, the goalkeeper. They're much younger, and they haven't really matured in the same sort of way that they haven't matured yet, and they won't do. They're still very young players. They've still got a long way to go, and they are punching above their weight a little bit in terms of where they're at now and in terms of their development. And I think they'll struggle tomorrow if they go a goal or two down early doors. I think they'll struggle. They'll start to panic a little. They won't stick to the game plan quite so much, and I think that'll suit Valkais A. But Valkais A have got to come out like a rocket, and they've got to score a couple of early goals in order to do that. If they don't, I think the game's probably Ramsey's.
One other game you wanted to touch upon, Saracens A against Harlequins A in PwC Men's Division 1. I'll nail my colours to the mast now. I'm involved in this game, but why did you want to pick this one out?
I think because they're the only two teams that I see being able to fight Caston Men's A for the title. And I think for me, this is probably one of the best fixtures, apart from Saracens Castletown in this league. Saracens Harlequins is probably the closest fixture for me, and I think it's going to be a really, really good game tomorrow. And if you look at the top goal scorers list, you've got 2 Harlequins players in there, and you've got 3 Saracens players in there. They've been able to spread the goals out a lot better than some other teams in other leagues, and I think that means it's going to be quite a high-scoring fixture. You've got yourself, actually, Chris, who's in joint 3rd place with 6 goals. You've got George Ratcliffe from Harlequins as well with 4 goals. That being said, Saracens do have 3 top goal scorers in that league, but one of them has left. Steve Cotty has obviously left Saracens, but those goals are still registered to Saracens because he's playing in a different division now. So I think that might even the odds a little from the first game. I know that Saracens won that one fairly convincingly, but as you've said, you don't think that you think you may have got your tactics wrong in that one, Chris. So I think this time lessons will have been learned.
Well, Saracens hammered Harlequins A 4-0 on the opening day of the season. Will there be a repeat tomorrow? Well, the only place to find out is right here on Manx Radio. Saturday Sport Preview with Ed Oldham, Paul Moran with Saturday Live from 1 till 5 o'clock, and then you'll find out the results in Saturday Classified. But Sam Spooner, thanks very much for joining us, and we eagerly await the results of tomorrow's fixtures.